It began like any ordinary dawn. A salty haze hung over the waves as Palawan fishermen readied their nets. Suddenly, something metallic caught the sun's first light, half-submerged, battered by the South China Sea. The twisted debris, marked with foreign characters and scorched by heat, was a piece of a missile. Hearts pounded. Some whispered prayers, others reached for their phones. Could this be a remnant from rising tensions between China and the Philippines? Within hours, the coastal barangay was transformed. The missile debris drew anxious crowds. As boats returned to shore, one question lingered: what does this mean for us? As news of the missile debris broke, panic swept across the Philippines. Social media flooded with images and shaky videos, hashtags like West Philippine Sea and China missile trending within hours. The public's fear was palpable. Parents worried for their children. Fishermen hesitated to return to sea. The Philippine Navy cordoned off the area, while scientists and military experts examined the debris. Officials called for calm, promising a swift investigation. The nation was on edge. This was no ordinary shipwreck. The missile debris symbolized far more than military technology gone astray. In a region riddled with maritime disputes, every object in these contested waters carries political weight. The presence of foreign missile parts was a stark reminder of the ongoing battle for sovereignty. Legally, the South China Sea is a minefield. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, gives the Philippines exclusive rights to its 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. Yet China's sweeping 9-line claim overlaps these waters, fueling confrontations. The missile debris, found deep within Philippine territory, reignites the debate. Whose sea is this really? For many, the debris is a warning shot. It raises urgent questions about safety. Could live ordnance threaten coastal communities? Are fishermen at risk? What about the fragile marine ecosystem, already battered by illegal fishing and land reclamation? Above all, the fragment of a missile is a fragment of trust, shattered between neighbors and between the people and their sense of security. In the battle for the South China Sea, even debris becomes diplomatic dynamite. The South China Sea is one of the world's most contested regions. For decades, countries including the Philippines, China, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei have claimed overlapping areas. At stake are rich fishing grounds, vital shipping lanes, and untapped oil and gas reserves. But the heart of the conflict is sovereignty, a question of who truly governs these waters. China's 9-line covers almost the entire sea, ignoring international rulings and the claims of its neighbors. In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled in favor of the Philippines. The decision stated that China's claims had no legal basis. Yet, China rejected the verdict and continued its island building and military patrols. Tensions flared repeatedly. Filipino fishermen have been chased away, and Philippine supply missions to remote outposts were harassed. Patrol boats from both sides have played cat and mouse, increasing the risk of accidental conflict. The missile debris is the latest flashpoint in a long, dangerous saga. In the South China Sea, history is never just history. It's a living dispute, shaping every new incident and every new fear. The BRP Sierra Madre, a World War II-era ship, was grounded on 2nd Thomas Shoal in 1999. Rusted and battered, it stands as the Philippines' claim in these contested waters. Inside, Marines endure isolation and hardship to guard national territory. Supplies arrive under constant threat from Chinese vessels, which often block or harass resupply missions. Despite these challenges, the crew's resolve is unshakable. The Sierra Madre is a daily reminder of the Philippines' determination and its vulnerability. The appearance of missile debris triggered a rapid and public response from the Philippine government. Almost immediately, Manila summoned the Chinese ambassador to explain the incident. Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo filed a formal diplomatic protest, demanding respect for Philippine sovereignty and answers about the missile's origins. Officials held press briefings daily. They shared photos, technical findings, and updates on the investigation. Transparency became a watchword. The government recognized that secrecy would only fuel conspiracy theories and public anger. Instead, they invited local and international journalists to cover the story up close. Behind the scenes, the Defense Department reviewed contingency plans. The Navy increased patrols near Palawan, while the Air Force monitored the skies. Lawmakers called for hearings on maritime security. The administration reassured allies and the public that no aggression would go unanswered. Manila's message was clear. The Philippines would not be intimidated. Every diplomatic tool would be used. Every legal right would be defended. In this crisis, the government sought not just to act, but to be seen acting, firmly and openly. The discovery of missile debris ignited a storm of public debate. Talk radio buzzed with angry callers. University students organized forums and protests. Hashtags demanding action trended for days. On Facebook and Twitter, memes and infographics spread rapidly, blending outrage with information. Many Filipinos felt fear, but also pride. Calls to support the military and defend national honor surged. Some urged caution, worried that open confrontation could risk war. Others demanded more aggressive moves, including joint patrols with allies and greater investment in defense. The government monitored this digital pulse closely. Policy statements began to echo popular sentiment, affirming rights, condemning incursions, and pledging transparency. Politicians who once hedged now spoke out more strongly. The missile debris had done what years of warnings could not. It made the South China Sea conflict personal for millions. Social media, once dismissed as mere noise, now shaped the national agenda. In the age of instant information, every Filipino had a voice in the country's most urgent debate. The missile debris has forced a national reckoning. Should the Philippines reinforce outposts like the Sierra Madre, risking open confrontation? Or should it maintain the status quo, hoping for diplomacy to win the day? Each choice carries danger. Reinforcement could provoke China, risking a military showdown. The Chinese Coast Guard has already used water cannons and dangerous maneuvers against Philippine ships. The fear is that next time, things could spiral out of control. But doing nothing is also risky. It could signal weakness and embolden further encroachment. Economic risks loom as well. The South China Sea is a vital trade route. Any conflict could disrupt shipping, threaten energy supplies, and damage the national economy. For fishermen, every day at sea now carries new risks, from both storms and man-made dangers. The debate is fierce. Some call for a national unity government or new defense alliances. Others urge caution, fearing the country could be caught between superpowers. The missile debris has made one thing certain: the status quo is no longer safe. The world is watching closely. The United States quickly reaffirmed its commitment to the Mutual Defense Treaty with the Philippines. American warships conducted freedom of navigation operations near disputed reefs. Japan and Australia issued statements of support, condemning any use of force and calling for respect for international law. ASEAN countries are divided. Vietnam and Malaysia quietly back Manila, fearing China's growing reach. Indonesia urges restraint, hoping to keep the peace. Other neighbors worry about economic fallout and rising military tensions. The missile debris incident has become a test case for international resolve and unity. Global investors take note. Any escalation could spook markets and threaten regional growth. Humanitarian groups warn of risks to civilian safety and the environment. The United Nations calls for dialogue, but the sea remains a flashpoint. For now, international support strengthens Manila's hand. But the real test lies ahead. Will the world stand firm if tensions boil over? Or will the South China Sea become the site of the next great power confrontation? The discovery of missile debris in Philippine waters is more than a maritime incident. It is a wake-up call. The South China Sea is now a battleground not just for territory, but for law, safety, and the future of the region. Every fisherman, official, and ordinary citizen is caught in the crosscurrents of history. Diplomacy is urgent, but so is unity. The Philippines must balance courage with caution, defending its rights without provoking disaster. Allies and neighbors must stand together, or risk being divided and conquered. The cost of miscalculation is high. Lives, livelihoods, and peace itself hang in the balance. The world cannot look away. The lessons of the missile debris are clear. Sovereignty is fragile, and peace is precious. The only way forward is through dialogue, determination, and collective action. As the waves crash against the shores of Palawan, the stakes have never been higher, or the need for resolve more urgent. The South China Sea storms are far from over, but for the Philippines, and for all who value freedom and law, the battle for these waters has only just begun.